Talking about the Fightins here. The Fightins.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it's gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
Bring out the birthday cake, bring out the beer, and let's start celebrating for Trea Turner's birthday. What's up, everybody? Eric, also known as Shard, here with the 302 Birds post-game show. And what a win today. What a bounce-back win. They didn't win the series. They got the split, but, I mean, like, I'll take it. Any day that you can split or win the series instead of a loss is a good day. But 5 errors today. 5 errors, and they still won. I don't understand how they won. This team is on an absolute tear, on an absolute magical run. And we gotta keep it going. Like Star Wars said here, how do you win with 5 errors? 5 fucking errors, Dalt. 5 errors.
Not pretty at all. But I'll say this. I think it was the 2 games before this, it was a combined 4 runs offensively without Schwarber and Harper. So I will take a 7-run day. They found a way to figure it out. That's what Phillies baseball is all about. That's what this team is all about. So I'm proud of them today, but they really got to get that together because you're right. Like in the playoffs, when you're playing better teams, not the Miami Marlins, who are now 30 and 54, you're going to, have to pay for those mistakes. So yeah, they really need to learn from games like this. And I know we'll get into it in a little bit, but I do want to give a quick shout out to Trea Turner for the game today. I mean, in that moment when he hit that, I think it was double. It was a double that he had with the RBI to knock the guy in to make it to give the Phils the lead, or tie it up. I forget what it was because, like I said, I had to watch the replay cutting grass. This is my grass cutting hat as well, guys. If any of you guys are wondering where
you gave them
why
the lead.
Is this guy in an Eagles hat? Yeah, the green doesn't get more green is my philosophy with this. But yeah, I mean, it was really good to see Trea Turner step up because I thought about it yesterday when we were at the game, and I'm like, when you're paying somebody like Trea Turner all that money, and he had that mistake, that error yesterday where he dropped it, you want to see him step up in these moments when Bryce Harper, when Schwarber are out. Arguably two of your best superstars, definitely right now, your 2 most important pieces. Add to the mix that Real Muto's out, another power hitter for them, somebody that's consistent too. He had that hitting streak going earlier this year. It's just not a good look. So it was good to see Trea Turner step up and kind of be that hero today, is what I'm trying to say, because boy, have we been really waiting for it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. And like I said earlier, I mean, they had 5 errors this game. They had, it was like 4 for 30 something this series with runners in scorer position. So like, definitely need to start capitalizing on chances. I mean, I know they left the bases loaded twice, and on the third time's the charm. They finally fucking figured out how to score. So like, this I almost want to call it a JV lineup in a sense because you don't have your all-stars. You're missing Harper, you're missing Kyle. Like I don't know, like you're paying Trea, you're paying Nick Castellanos all-star money, but like lately it just seems like certain days they produce, certain days they don't. It really just depends on what the day is. I'm I'm happy that Trea Turner came in clutch today. He went, I'm looking here at the box score, 3 for 5, 2 RBI, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and he got his average up to a 3 point or .332. So like he took the moment and seized it. Definitely did what he needed to do, but like just they got to figure it out with Harper and Schwarber out, because you can't rely on 2 guys to carry your team each and every night. And June's over now. Even if Kyle comes back, we don't know if he's gonna have some of that June magic. So we'll see what happens with that.
I think he might. And I think I talked about this on, maybe it was Friday night. I referenced it and I said, I think we will get a little bit of that June Schwarber, Mr. June, that will carry over to July for about 2 weeks. I know I said I thought originally we would get it to extend. Now I think he'll make up for his injury. Not that it's, his fault, just he wants to make up for the time that he was gone. And I think we're going to see, his upper body's probably being really rested. I think he's going to crank that ball when he comes back. So stay tuned for it. I just hope that he doesn't overdo it. And then once we get to the playoffs, you know what I mean? He's kind of gassed out. That's the thing he needs to be careful about. Pace yourself, come back from this easy, and hopefully Philly Rob understands that as well.
Yeah, and I know I saw an interview with him today when he was talking to reporters before the game. He's really fighting to come back on, I think it's July 8th. I think that's when the 10 days are up, technically. And I'm sure Harper's probably, Harper's kind of like a hard ass, in my opinion. Like, he wants to play, he wants to be out there. And they said that the injury to Harper was kind of similar to Marsh's, because I mean, you and I saw Marsh's at the game when it happened. And Marsh was only out, what was that, maybe like
a month?
About a week. No, it wasn't a month. It was like a week maybe. He wasn't out as long as like Trea. Trea was out a while, but
that's who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, but if Harper can have an injury similar to Marsh and come back in like a week or two, that would be great. I mean, they're definitely missing his bats, and this series shows that. Definitely shows that.
I think Chris said it on Friday too. I think he mentioned that it was 10 days for Schwarber and Harper, which I guess is good. So, and that was on Friday. So I guess we're in the eight day threshold now. So maybe next Monday or Tuesday is when we're starting to eye up a return for them, which could be good because, I mean, they need it. If they could go 500, 50% throughout the next week, win half the games, I would be happy because, God, this has been a rocky ride without them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at the schedule. We're off tomorrow. We have a 3-game series against the Cubs at the Cubs Stadium. Then we go on to play the Braves at the Braves Stadium, and then it's the Dodgers. So hopefully, I think the Cubs will be easy. The Cubs, knock on wood, are not the greatest right now. I'm looking at their last game. Yeah, it looks like the Brewers kind of decimated them. I'm more so worried about the Braves and the Dodgers back-to-back. I mean, the Braves are, I don't want to say that they're bad because they're not. They're a really good team. They haven't really lived up to expectations this season. But like the Dodgers, man, I'm really worried about the Dodgers more so. Especially if we don't have Kyle and Bryce. Like, I feel like we're just going to get rocked.
I think when I'm looking at it, we were looking at betting odds yesterday out at Citizens Bank Park, just asking people some betting related questions. Shout out to Sharps. If you guys haven't downloaded the Sharps app, use code 302D866 when signing up. But the top 6 World Series odds as of yesterday, they could change, but Dodgers were 1 at plus 320. And then there was a large gap. And then the Yankees plus 475, Phillies plus 550 are third. And then a tie for 4th between the Orioles and Braves. And then the Guardians are 6th. So, yeah, I get your point. The Braves don't as much scare me. The Dodgers, I think, are the most legit team in the MLB right now. I know a lot of people are Yankees, even us, Phillies, best team in the MLB. I really think the true, team that's coming out of the smoke right now as the clear-cut favorite, the most consistent team in the MLB, that number 1, probably the Dodgers. You're right. Like it's about wins. It's not about, you know, other stuff. It's about winning games at the end of the day, and they find a way to do that.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, at the same time, if we're talking about consistency, like I feel like the Phillies are just consistent in a sense, not like full consistent, but they find ways to win with injuries. I mean, you had Trey out for a whole month, he still found ways to win. You have JT out. We don't even know when JT's coming back. Still find ways to win. You have Bryce and Kyle out, and if they can find ways to win, like I just feel like this team is just consistent even with injuries. I feel like they're the most consistent team in baseball right now. I think we have the most wins right now still in the MLB. I look, yeah, we're 1.5 games up on the Orioles right now. So like they're just very consistent. And would I call them the best team in baseball, even with their standings? Yeah, because again, they're finding ways to win with injuries.
I definitely say the Phillies are number 2 for me, and there's no competition about that. I think that they're more consistent than the Yankees for sure. We saw yesterday what happened to the Yankees. Shout out to Colin, texted me. He's texted me. He goes, "Oh, all the way up there to see your team lose." I'm like, "Thanks, asshole. Thanks for reminding me."
Yeah, but I mean, Yankees are the thing. The thing is, like, the Yankees always get into this stint mid-season, and it seems like it's happening again this year. They always come into injuries. They always come into like a portion of their schedule where they lose. So we'll see what happens with them. But getting into another topic that I want to talk about, Ranger Suarez looked completely not himself today. I don't know what it was. I don't know if he's still trying to get used to Marshawn, you know, calling the pitches with the pitch com or what. But he goes 4.1 innings pitched today. Sorry, 4.2 innings pitched. Lets up 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts, 1 home run for 2.27 ERA. So I know that the other day his ERA did inflate due to a Trea Turner error that was overturned or something like that. They had to appeal it, and then it lowered his ERA back to a 1.87, I believe. But for him to have his ERA inflate like that today, I think he ties it with Christopher Sanchez. Sorry. I think we still have the 3 best ERAs in the NL, but like I don't know what's going on with the pitching lately. It's got to be JT being out because not even like Ranger looks the same. I feel like honestly, Ranger, Nola, Wheeler, they just had games here or there where they look off. And if they can get the run support behind them, they'll be fine. I mean, like Christopher Sanchez the other night looked absolutely dominant. But other than that, I think they need to get used to consistency behind home plate with who's catching.
Yeah, dude, your point about Real Muto hit the nail on the head. Anytime that you're starting a position for anything, especially catcher, how vital that is to a pitcher. A guy that, you know, is seasoned, can give those signals to a pitcher, can call those plays. It's going to suck for sure. And I think your point as well about even Ranger being affected just goes to show how much of an impact Real Muto really has on this team. I know I've said it before on here. I've said it before on 302 Birds. I think I take Real Muto for granted. I think a lot of fans, like I said, myself included, take JT for granted. Really, really just smart, high motor player that has been willing to do whatever this team needs him to do. Do you know how much it's got to suck going out there in that catcher's gear in this kind of heat? All that shit sticking to you, standing behind the mound, catching that ball that fast. I know you love baseball. I know it's your favorite sport. You know what I mean? Anyone that, you know, same thing. But even football, my favorite sport. You know how much it's got to suck to go out there in that heat? And he does it. He does it well. So I'm not saying Stubby doesn't. Stubby had a good game yesterday. But yeah, we need Real Muto back. I will say as well, I'm not glad because somebody said it the other day too. I think it was Broad on Sippin' Sports said, I'm not glad that this is happening now, but I'm almost glad. I don't know another way to say it. Like it's just happening now, and it's a good thing that it's happening now, and it's not happening in the postseason. And it's like this bad luck is getting out of our system because you know that this stuff is not going to keep up the whole season. At least you hope it will, but you hope for the best, expect the worst. I think in anything with the Eagles last year, even through 10 wins, we were all like, okay, they're probably going to go back to the Super Bowl, but like we never got our hopes super, super up because what happened in November before that? We were all let down before. So I think for Philly sports fans, especially Phillies fans right now, we're like kind of hoping for the best. I don't want to say expecting the worst, but preparing, if that makes sense, like just so we're not emotionally hurt. But there's definitely something up with the whole team, not just pitching. Pitching's clearly affected. And the starters are affected. That's what's scary. When your bullpen is, one of the things that not yesterday, but looks better, it's not, the best.
Yeah, and I know you guys talked about it yesterday. They're definitely feeling the injuries, obviously, Kyle being out and Harper being out. I mean, for example, Kyle, right? Whenever he hits a leadoff home run, the Phillies usually rally behind him and win games. So, I mean, Stott's not the best leadoff guy. I understand you got to put somebody in that hole. Stott's been kind of hot here, cold there. I think, honestly, maybe you put somebody else in this Cubs series in leadoff. But, like, they're low on vibes right now. They're feeling the injuries. And, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They got to find out ways to win. And what I was thinking about while you were talking is if they can find ways to win right now without guys in their lineup, come postseason time, I think they'll be set. Because, like, you're finding ways to win now. When these guys come back and you're rocking into the postseason, you're going to be all set. You're going to be complete. You're going to go on a run in the postseason.
Yeah, dude, coming out like a caged animal. That's a great point. They're going to be really like a well-oiled machine, whatever analogy you want to use. But the young guys especially, I think you're right. Like, let them kind of, like Broad said, it's not that it's a good thing. It's just like sometimes you need baptism by fire in anything, in any sport, in any job, in anything in life. And I think that this is one of those scenarios where, hey, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber are not going to be here forever. They may be here for the next, 5 to 7, 8, maybe 10 years, Harper. But they're not going to be here forever. And the Philadelphia Phillies are going to have to find ways to win games without them. So this can't be a revolutionary rocket science thing for the Phillies to be able to put up more than 2 runs in a game without these guys. I get it. It's your 1-3 hitter, 2 vital spots for you, especially to have on the injury report. But just today was a great start. And I'm glad that somebody like Trea Turner, because the Phillies aren't only paying Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. I'll put it to you that way as well. So it was nice to see Trea step up today. Happy birthday to him too.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like the All-Stars are stepping up. Trea, he has a big contract. He stepped up. 3 for 5, 2 RBI. Nick Castellanos has been hot lately, dude. Like
yeah, he has.
5,
RBI
like 4
machine.
For 5 today. 3 RBI. Bohm, 2 for 5, 2 RBI. So, like, I feel like Bohm's starting to become a mini Harper, dude. Like, taking after Harper and just driving in runs and being that clutch player. But the one guy who's not clutch, the one guy they need to start, benching, DFAing, cutting, Whit Merrifield, dude. I don't understand what his issue is. I don't understand why we decided to play him. Honestly, you should probably sit him. Maybe call up Weston Wilson if he's, I think he's back in Lehigh, but like he just sucks. Whit Merrifield sucks. Like I was talking to one of my friends before the show, but like I was very optimistic when we signed him and he came into spring training and they were doing interviews and he was like, yeah, I'm going to do anything I can to help this team. The guy was a previous All-Star. He had some pretty decent stats last season when he played for, I believe, the Blue Jays. I think that's who we got him from. But then, like, he comes into Philly and he just stinks. Like, he's terrible. He had multiple opportunities for RBIs today, went 0 for 3. His batting average is a .188. It's one of the lowest averages on the team. Like, Rob, I know you're not going to watch this, but if anybody, shows this to Rob one day, you gotta stop the Whit Merrifield experiment. That dude has ruined Mr. Brightside for me. I can't even listen to that song anymore. He's ruined the song for me. Every time I listen to it, it's like, I can't. I gotta turn it off. It's giving me PTSD.
Yeah, man, you and Brendan both, and I know you guys aren't the only ones, but it's disgraceful at some point. 0-3 when you said earlier you had batters in scoring positions. So you can't do that. You got to be able to 1 for 3. Come on, man. Like, do something. Do fucking something to, like, be able to give us any kind of justification, because right now is, like, the time that you can't shit the bed with Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber out. You got to be able to show, okay, this is why this team brought me in here, so that when injuries happen, I can be that guy for them. So, a little bit disappointing. Actually, not a little bit, a lot of bit disappointing since he's came here. And I think you're right, Shard. I think that the experiment is going to end soon. I just don't know. I don't think it's a if at this point. I think it's a matter of when.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at what teams. I think we got him from the Royals, actually. He played for the Royals and he played for the Blue Jays, and he was decent for both teams. But again, like, every time the lineup comes out, and I see Whit Merrifield on the lineup, it's this.
What's that?
Like, I just look at the lineup and I'm like, I look at the lineup and I'm just like, damn, he's in the lineup. And it's like, if we can trade him for a Coke, a Lay's bag of chips, and a decent outfield bat that can take his place, like, it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll probably somehow get out of his contract, because he stinks. There's so many opportunities where you can, again, drive in RBIs. You can be the hero. You can, be the guy we need you to be. And it's like, if you were that hero, if you were that guy, if you were good, do you know, like, how high the vibes would be every time he's up to bat and the entire bank is singing Mr. Brightside when you come up to bat? That would be fucking electric, dude.
I will say, the experiment may not end until next year, unfortunately, at this point.
Probably won't.
And baseball is such a crazy sport. It is still possible, I think, that maybe he has a short streak. I don't think it's going to be for long, but there could be a chance that I think he gets on a streak in September, and that may happen, actually. The thing is, I don't want to invest in it, like, as a fan, because it's like, okay, this is not consistent. We've seen what this can be when he's bad. So is there a trade deadline in the MLB? Did it already pass?
It's August 1st, I think. So they still have a whole month to do trades. It's kind of similar to the NFL, where they wait until the trade deadline to see, like, who's available and who they want to trade. So honestly, I think come trade deadline, they'll probably trade for somebody. I think, honestly, if I was, Dave Dombrowski or John Middleton or whoever's in charge of trades, I would probably bundle Merrifield and Pache, maybe one of your prospects, because, again, Merrifield's not doing anything. Pache, I know, he's been decent here or there, but I feel like Rojas is better than Pache. I mean, the other night when he hit a single and turned it into a double, like, that's exactly what you need. And if you can figure that out, I mean, you're going to be in a good place. But yeah, come trade deadline, they need to trade for a bat that they can put in the outfield. That's going to produce at the bottom of the lineup, because just like Merrifield didn't really do anything, Dahl didn't really do anything, Marchand didn't really do anything, Sosa didn't really do anything. So, like, you've got to find somebody to put in the bottom of that lineup that's going to drive in runs in order to win games. You can't rely on the top 2, 3, 4 guys. You got to rely on everybody in the game of baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
But going into the last topic and starting to wrap it up, talk about the Fightins, dude. Like, absolutely amazing win.
Talking about the Fightins here. The Fightins! Said!
Yeah, said. I mean, they were down 6-2. I didn't personally think they were going to win. Again, Ranger Suarez just didn't have his stuff, but like they find ways to win. And again, I feel like, if it was last season, they would have just dug a hole, buried themselves, and died right then and there. They would have just given up. But it seems like this season, it's a change of motivation, a change of headspace. It's like, okay, how can we rally together and find a way to win? And we've seen that numerous times this season. Unfortunately, this is one of the games where Ranger Suarez, I think this is the most earned runs that he's had this season. But if you can rally behind your pitcher, you can rally behind your fellow players and find ways to win, it's a confidence booster. I mean, yeah, he's probably bummed out that he lost the game, but for your guys to come behind him and be like, all right, we got you, you might not have had your best outing, but we're still going to find a way to win. That's what you need from a ball club.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about this. You pretty much hit the nail on the head, but anytime you can put up 5 unanswered runs against a team that you have 2 games, like this was a crucial, they could have rolled over and died. You're right. Like the way that Thursday's game went, the way that last night's game went, they could have just easily rolled over and given up on this series and said, fuck it, we're going to lose the series 3-1. And they didn't. They didn't. They found a way to win. They came together. It wasn't, there was home runs here and there, but that's the nice thing about this team. Like the RBIs, it's not like I think last year and especially the year before where it's like, if we're not getting out to a fucking 4-0 start before the 3rd inning, 5-0 start, we're not going to win this game. You know what I mean? Like, so it's nice to see that they're getting out like ahead of it earlier. And even when they're not, they're finding ways to win at the end of the games. Like they're productive in end innings, even when they're at like a 4-run deficit. Like you said, I mean, could have easily rolled over and died and they didn't. And that's what the fighting spirit is all about. That's what Phillies baseball is all about. And I'm sure that I don't think it was a sold out crowd today. It might've been, but the heat, I mean, just the amount of people that still showed up, that army, that Citizens Bank army, 40,000 plus probably today, 35,000 plus was there for their team, and it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, I don't know if it was sold out. I feel like a lot of people probably left.
Dude, yesterday it was packed. It was nuts.
Yeah,
I'll have to find a video.
I feel like yesterday, or not yesterday, I feel like today when I was watching the game, there were just a lot of empty seats towards the end of the game. So honestly, people probably left because they were like, oh, well, we're down 6-2. We're probably not going to win. But like, again, they find ways to win. I mean, I went to a game a couple weeks ago where we were down and we had that rally in the 9th inning. It was like Stott, Nick, and somebody else to get the win, and Nick got the walk-off. So it's like, I want to be a typical fan this season where it's like, oh, they're down, they're going to lose. But then it's like they live up to expectations and they find ways to win. So Phillies win 7-6 tonight. They have an off day tomorrow, so we won't be on. We'll be back on Tuesday. They start the Cubs series. They'll be in Cubs territory.
Can I show you this real quick too? This was yesterday, dude. Just for context, guys, on a Saturday in that heat. That speaks volumes about our fan base. It looks like the SpongeBob crowd of just like a bunch of people painted. But it was seriously nuts yesterday. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to still holy shit. The fact that it was almost like that's only 5,000 under capacity, basically. I think it's like 44,000 something. So that's fucking nuts. That many people show up today.
Well, I mean, I think it was you or it was Chris when you guys did the show. I think one of you said, like, I remember when you get tickets for like 10, 15, 20 bucks. And now it's like everybody's showing up. So now tickets are like 50, 60, all the way up to $100. So it's like they're
Sucks ass.
they're putting on something magical, and I hope that this continues. But yeah, so again, we'll be back on Tuesday. Phillies go down to Cub territory. They start a series with the Cubs, and then after that, it's on to Atlanta. So we'll see what happens with that. But on that note, everybody have a good night, and we're gonna go ahead and roll the outro. See you, everybody.
The Fightins!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it's gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball!
Podcast right here. You already know.